Hi everyone, this is Jeanne-Marie Taylor of Jeanne-Marie Taylor Muse, readings, healings, and meditations. And wow, I'm so exhilarated. I wonder if you can hear it in my voice. I took an early morning walk with my husband Creed, and it was just magical. We decided to get up early and just hit the trails in our area of rural Louisiana. We wanted to start to be a little bit more stringent with our social distancing. We want to protect other walkers and hikers in case we ourselves are carriers of COVID-19. Even though we don't have any symptoms, by the way, that's the most responsible way to look at this, I feel, is for us all to really understand that we indeed might be carriers. And we, of course, would never want to spread it to anyone else, nor would you. So just keep that in mind. But we also wanted to be feeling a little bit more protected ourselves because occasionally, even though we live in a pretty remote rural area, we are running into, I would say, more people than usual on hiking trails and places where we normally walk. So it was really a joy to get out early on the trails. No one was around. It was still dark, and we were hearing what sounded like huge families of frogs talking to each other. Just, I love all the different sounds that frogs make, right? It's not just one sound. I mean, if you've ever spent, a night or two or three in the country, you know that they just make so many different kinds of sounds. And I love the one that sounds sort of like a stand-up bass, if you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, the birds were waking up and starting their bird song for the day, and we watched as it started to get light, and I really enjoy looking up at the sky. And so we were looking and seeing bats still flying around overhead. So it was just an amazing, beautiful experience. And what I loved perhaps the most was that the air felt really clean. You know, in this age where we have such a highly communicable disease floating around, it's a really special experience to get up extra early and you have the feeling that you're filling your lungs with really, really clean, fresh air. So I want to just plant that seed with you. Think about what it would feel like for you to start getting up a little bit earlier, for you to do this exhilarating thing of just getting up, getting out, watching the sunrise, or just watching everything get brighter and brighter and brighter, and the sounds of nature waking up and the nocturnal animals sort of slithering off to wherever they're going to be sleeping through the day. And you can even do what we do, which is we have a reflective blaze orange baseball cap, and sometimes he wears it, sometimes I wear it. And we also have a highly reflective blaze orange vest. And that just helps people to see you. You know, it's really important to remember that at dusk and dawn, these are the two times of the day where drivers will have the most trouble seeing you if you are out walking or hiking. So you want to bring flashlights. You want to be wearing something very bright, very reflective. And if you don't have that, I want to suggest that you order it. But just try to get out there. It's so exhilarating to fill your lungs with this fresh air before anyone else is awake and moving about. And then the nice thing is that later on, well, you get to enjoy the rest of your day with a little bit more confidence, a little bit more of a feeling of accomplishment because you know that you've already had a hearty walk or a hike that's behind you. You've already done, the one of the biggest things that you have to do as far as exercise. So we were out for about an hour, and tomorrow we're going to probably go a little bit further. But great. So I wanted to make that suggestion to you and tell you how amazing that can feel. But now let's get to today's channeled messages. So here is the way that this worked. You might have seen that I have this photograph that I posted. Now, by the way, that's a photograph that I took just around our house just a few days ago when Creed and I were out walking. It's very close to where we live. And I want you to imagine that you and I are walking that country road together. It's just a lovely old country road in Louisiana, way out in the sticks. And just imagine that we're walking together down that road, and maybe you're telling me about your life, what you want to do, things that are on your mind, things that have been weighing on you, maybe some ideas that you have. And together we come upon the fork in the road that is pictured in the photograph. So just imagine that you and I are standing at that fork in the road. Which way should we go? We're just looking at each other like, what should we do now? Which way should we go? So do you feel like going to the left? Is that how you feel pulled? Or do you feel more pulled to the right? So the tricky thing about a fork in the road like this is that you can't see anything in either direction. So you are left to just trust your instincts. Which way is calling you? Which way should we go? Left or should we go right? So if you haven't made your decision yet, you can just pause the recording. You can make your decision now. But if you have made your decision, then you're ready to listen to the two channeled messages. I have a channeled message for those who feel pulled to the left. And then the second message is going to be for those who feel pulled to the right. And here, let's do this first, the channeled message for those who feel pulled to the left. So this is your message from your guides and guardians if you felt pulled to the left. What your guides and guardians are saying to you today is this: be still. Be still and reflect today on all that you have. We are proud of who you are and how you are living in this moment. We see you reaching out to others, and yet we also encourage you to learn how to sit and breathe alone, reaching inward to your divine center, to your divine shelter, silently excavating the cool, ancient waters of contentment and gratitude for what is. Because these waters are always and eternally streaming through your heart. Imagine that you are taking each step today with your feet in these cooling waters, and you will be nourished. Okay, so that is the first channeled message. That is for everyone who was at the fork in the road and really felt pulled to go to the left. So our second channeled message today is this. Here is your message if you were pulled more toward the right. If you were pulled toward the right, your guides and guardians are saying this to you today. Your heart will recover. All you fear may have been lost forever. Your mind will present you with new pathways towards sustenance and renewal. Your breath will take you on a flight of transcendence. Your strength and your beauty in this moment are far beyond what they have been in any other moment, at any other time. And we would never leave you to wander alone in the desert. Trust us that better things are coming. Trust us. But more importantly, trust yourself to slowly find your new way forward. So I hope you enjoyed your channeled message today, whether you were pulled to the left or pulled to the right, or maybe you weren't even sure and maybe you feel that both of these messages apply to you. That too is fine. And I want to tell you, this has been so enjoyable. I might have to do this again. I would love to hear your comments. Was this fun for you? This was certainly fun for me. This is Jeanne-Marie Taylor from Jeanne-Marie Taylor Muse, readings, healings, and meditations and channeled messages. And I will talk to you again tomorrow.